Come on in.
Hi, I'm Marcellus with SHS This Month, and I'm interviewing Xavier Marrero from the Black Knight football team. Nice to meet you.
What's up?
How do you feel about the Black Knight football team?
I'm pretty confident in the team. Been getting along past couple of weeks, and we're getting better each week.
What do you guys think you can work on offensively and defensively?
I would say keeping away the penalties and keeping on sync with each other on both sides of the ball.
If you could define Black Knight football in one word, how would you define it?
Tough.
How do you feel about concussions?
They're tough to stay away from, but if you play the game right, you can stay away from them.
Do you expect to play at collegiate level?
Yes, I do expect to.
What is your diet like?
A lot of protein, meat, grains like rice and all that stuff.
Does being an underdog ever motivate you to not want to be one?
Of course. I mean, I like to be the underdog because it just gives us extra drive and fight.
How important is recovery?
Recovery is very important. You always want to stay as healthy as you can during the season.
Are you enjoying the process of sports or the outcome?
I would say both because, you know, nobody wants to lose, but everyone wants to have fun.
Do you think football is a good preparation for life?
Yeah, it teaches a lot of life lessons.
What is the best part of playing Black Knight football?
Just being a part of the team and just going out each week and having fun with the people you want to play ball with.
How do you feel about the coaching staff?
The coaching staff is good. They teach us a lot of good things, teach us a lot of good technique, and they want the best for us.
Are you brothers with your teammates on the field or on and off the field?
Both. I'll say both. You know, we try to take care of each other on and off the field. So,
do you enjoy playing other teams with possibly having friends on there, playing against each other in a friendly rivalry?
I love rivalries. You always want to beat that opponent.
Thanks for joining us, Xavier. Good luck on your football season. Please join us next month in SHS for more.
Founded May of 1881, the American Red Cross is a non-profit organization that supports and provides emergency relief and assistance to disasters around the world.
The American Red Cross exists to provide compassionate care to those in need. We rely on donations from people like you to continue providing for our patients. To make a donation, call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit our website at redcross.org.
American Red Cross supplies about 40% of our nation's blood supply. It is our nation's largest blood collection organization.
Red Cross gives approximately 2,700 hospitals and transfusion centers across the country blood products for patients. There is roughly 3.3 million blood donors who give blood to Red Cross. American Red Cross collects approximately 5.6 million blood donations each year.
The people in need you. Blood donors make life-saving contributions that benefits patients across the nation. Your donation is always in constant demand. Please call us at 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit our website at redcross.org.
Hi, my name is Brika Pierre-Louis, and you are tuned into Faculty Focus with our first faculty member, Ms. Triolo. So, Ms. Triolo, how long have you worked at Stone High?
This would be my 4th year here working at Stoughton High School.
And what's your role in the school?
I am one of the school psychologists in the school district, and basically what that means is that I'm part of the special education department. Any student that's referred for a core evaluation, I end up doing the psychological or cognitive portion of that evaluation. And then any student who receives special education supports, I do those reevaluations and hold meetings, schedule meetings, do a lot of paperwork and those type of things. So basically, lots of involvement with the special education process.
That's really cool. So what do you think your hardest parts of your job are?
I think some of the hardest aspects of the job is, testing students and really wanting to be able to provide them with support, and it not necessarily being a situation where that student would qualify for special education, but still knowing that they need some sort of help. And I just think in general in any district, some of the limitations that we have as a school when it comes to supporting students and just kind of that whole aspect of it.
So what do you think the easiest parts are?
For me, I feel like the easiest part is connecting with the students. I enjoy meeting with them. I don't mind doing the testing and just being able to get to know different members of the student population.
Did you have a job at any other school before Stone High?
Yes, I've worked at a couple of other school districts.
And what do you think the difference is between those schools and this school?
The biggest difference, I would say, is just in the student population in general. I think Stoughton has a more diverse student body than some of the other schools that I've worked at. I also feel like, at least on my end, I feel like I get to work with a really phenomenal group of special education staff here at Stoughton, and I haven't had that type of dynamic or the connections that I have with the coworkers here. I haven't had that in the past. And I also think that although every school could use more resources, I think we have a good set of programs and resources for the special education students here at Stoughton.
That's awesome. What do you love about the students here?
I love the diversity. I love the fact that I've gotten to know a bunch of students who are involved in a lot of things, who are very enthusiastic, and again, just the whole environment and the whole atmosphere.
If you could be a student for a day, would you, and why?
I would be a student for a day, but only if I were allowed to come back knowing all of the knowledge that I know now and having the same confidence that I have now, and then I'd be willing to do it, but otherwise, heck no.
So, if you could be any student, who would you be?
I would want to be a student who is involved in several activities, so maybe someone who's involved in student council or sports like soccer, so I guess maybe somebody like Barika, or I don't know, maybe like Tanya Stanley, or I know Sam Malley's president, so maybe Sam Malley. Any of you I'd pick any of you.
That's awesome. Do you feel like you've impacted the school?
I hope so. I feel like I've at least had some impact on the student council because I'm one of the co-advisors for that. And I know that the year I started advising, the council didn't have an advisor, so they were kind of, out of luck if somebody didn't end up stepping up. So hopefully that helped to impact them. And then hopefully I've impacted the different special education students that I've evaluated and had meetings for and interactions with.
Do you feel happy that you've started working here?
Definitely, yeah.
That's
I enjoy the student population. I really like my coworkers, and I like the whole entire atmosphere and dynamic here at Stoughton.
That's awesome. Well, thank you
You're
so
very
much.
welcome.
And thank you for tuning in to Faculty Focus.
Every year, millions of people around the U.S. are affected by natural disasters. The American Red Cross provides shelter, food, health, and mental health services to those in need.
The American Red Cross was founded on May 21, 1881 by Clara Barton. The American Red Cross is a humanitarian organization that provides emergency assistance and disaster relief to people all around the nation.
The American Red Cross relies on generous donations of blood, money, and time. To learn more about the American Red Cross, go to www.redcross.org, call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Known as New England's favorite charity, the Jimmy Fund is a headquarters for hope. Its main mission is to touch adults and children with their selfless acts and to conquer cancer here and around the world. Since it was founded in 1948, the Jimmy Fund has helped many cancer patients and families raise funds and improve their chances of survival. The Jimmy Fund currently benefits from hundreds of events across the country that you can be a part of today. Sign up or donate, visit our website at www.jimmyfund.org or call 1-800-525-4669.
Since 1948, the generosity of millions of people has helped the Jimmy Fund save countless lives and reduce the burden of cancer for patients and families worldwide.
And the Boston Red Sox have been in proud partnership for over 60 years. Many Red Sox legends have demonstrated their personal commitment to the Jimmy Fund, including Ted Williams, Johnny Pesky, and the legendary Yaz.
Join us today in supporting the Jimmy Fund through events like the Dan Farber Marathon Challenge, the Jimmy Fund Walk, and the WEEI Nesson Jimmy Fund Radio.
Hi, I'm Mateus Moreira with SHS This Month, and I'm joined here by Dr. Rizzi, and we're going to be talking about the new school. All right, first question. How do you think the new school will benefit the community?
Well, I think that there are just an incredible number of ways that it's going to benefit the community. There's the building that we have, obviously the people who work here and all the students do a great job with what we have. But the amount of things that we'll be able to do that will be better with a new building. We'll have better science labs so people can do better experiments. We'll have a better television studio that will be built for that purpose. So many of the things will give the teachers and the students who will be able to use it opportunities to do things that they can't do as well now. So it'll, I think, and just raise the level of enthusiasm for school. And given that we do pretty well with that now, it's just going to be amazing what that'll do. But there are ways in which it's going to impact people who don't come to school here at all, because there are certain things that will change the whole culture of a community. So if we think there's a group of people, the master planning committee, who are working on fixing the center and just like making that like a lot more vibrant and a lot better looking and a lot more parking and a lot better stores and stuff. Then you have on the south side of the center, the library is building a whole new library. It's going to be state of the art, it's going to be green, it's going to be spacious. And then you look at just north of the center, you have this building, and it's old and it's tired. And if you put a brand new building here, then you're going to have people who want to move here to be near the school. You're going to have businesses that are going to want to come in so that they can be around the school. So it just gives the entire community a lift and a sense of pride, and it starts to attract more people in. Then people start building new housing. So I have a friend who's a superintendent in Rockland, and they had some like tired old school buildings, and they built a big middle school in the middle of town. And now the entire center of town has changed. Like, it was a catalyst to just build all kinds of new things and bring all kinds of people in. So I think that we'll definitely see that, and it's just going to be a big conversation piece and just spark a lot of people doing a lot of other interesting things around it.
All right. My second question is, how will the new school benefit teachers and students?
Well, when we talk about 21st century learning, there are some things that you think about when you think about that concept. And we look at how people get things done these days. And a lot of people work in teams. And one of the ways that we can't do that so well in a school that's an old-fashioned school is you have a corridor down it, and then you have a whole bunch of classrooms lined up on the corridor. And so you don't know if you're in the end room what's going on in the other room. But the new school is built around clusters. So you can have people come out of classrooms from different classrooms to work on a project with, so if you're in one class, say you're in an English class on this side of the cluster, and then you're in a history class on that side, you can come out and work in the middle on something that is relevant to both classes. You can arrange the teachers so that they get to work together in different kinds of teams, so they can work in cross-curricular teams, or whole departments can work together and be in the same workspace, so that you can look out and see somebody and say, well, what do you think about doing this, or would you like to do this with me? And so we'll have a lot of ways that people can work together and partner together and think about, well, you know, you don't have to maybe just do this in the old way that you used to do it. You might be able to just do a different kind of thing with other people. And we find that one of the things that employers are looking for, and colleges are looking for, are people who know like all kinds of sophisticated ways to communicate and to work together. And the building is going to be set up so that you have a lot more opportunity to do that. And then all the facilities will be really new. So you'll be able to do science experiments that other people, you know, like maybe have not had an opportunity to do. We'll have engineering rooms, so that if you're taking you can take a computer-aided design class, and so you can design something on the computer. Then you can go in the next room where there's a 3D printer, and you make a model of it, and then you go in the next room and actually make the thing. So you can go from one to another, and we'll have a facility where you can do that.
Everybody together.
Yes.
Make it easier.
Yeah.
All right. My next question is, what is the process of getting a new school?
Well, the state has an office, the Mass School Building Authority, and they work through the Department of the Treasury. And every penny of the sales tax goes to MSBA. And then they take that money and they use that money to help towns build new schools. So in a year where there's a lot of sales tax, they get a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then if it's a really bad year, they don't get so much money. So they look at how much they have, and then they ask you, if you're interested in building a new school, to send them a proposal. It's called a statement of interest. And for us, the year that we put in our statement of interest, I think they had about enough money for 8 of them, and they had like 200 requests.
Okay.
But they picked us out of the requests that they had because we made a really good case for the need. And then our politicians who work for us, our state senator and our reps, really made the case that Stoughton was really overdue for a school.
Yeah.
So they had to pick us, and once they did that, now we work with them and they pay for half of the project. So they'll pay for 54% of it, and then if we do things like if we make the school green, we get more points for that. There are certain things that we can do if we work with them. We can get them to pay up to 60% of it. So we go back and forth with them. We wrote a plan. We're meeting with them next Wednesday, and they're going to ask us questions about our plan. We went through this long process of deciding, well, where was the school going to be? So they want you to look at the whole town and not just like pick a place.
Yeah.
So we looked at a lot of different properties, but decided this one was probably the best one. And then we looked at a lot of different plans, 9 different plans. And we talked about the relative advantages of this. Should we do a renovation? No, the building's too old and decrepit. It wouldn't make sense. Do we do a new school? What kind of new school? What does it look like? 2 floors, 3 floors? How much space? Where on the land you're going to put it? So we kind of narrowed it down. So now we have a plan, and the building is going to go kind of where the football field and the end of the track and soccer field and the tennis courts are, like in the front, in the Adams Street piece of the property. And then this building will get torn down, and the fields will be put where this building is now. But we have to work with them, and they tell us what they want, and then we give it to them, and then they tell us how they can help us. And with a school building costing as much as it does, like we think probably about $90 million.
Wow.
If you can get the state to come in and pay $50 million of that $90 million, so if the realistic way to get a school built these days is to get them to work with you, and they are. So that's really good.
Since this is an upcoming project, how's the town preparing for all this change?
Well, the part of the work involved was starting like years ago. So when Deborah Sovany was on the school committee, one of the things she was interested in was improving the high school, like getting a new high school. So probably 6 years ago, she put out this notice of anybody who was interested in working on the project of a new high school, come to this meeting. So 20 people just like responded and came to this meeting, and it was like nobody had thought of this idea before, and then she kind of just like galvanized these 20 people into going out and talking to more people, and then some of those people stayed on the committee to work on it longer, and then helped with doing the proposal to the MSBA. So then even before we got the proposal accepted, we started talking to everybody in the town about what the advantages would be, and how much it would cost, and what it would mean, and how we would go about it. So I think for something this big, it's really important to start early, so that it's not a surprise. Like you don't say to somebody, well, guess what? Tomorrow we'd like to build a $90 million building. So the master planning people, they worked with us and incorporated it into their plan, and that was like 3 or 4 years ago. So I think you have to really start early and make a lot of really good plans so that it doesn't surprise people and they have some time to get ready for it. So I think that's been like a really good way to go about it.
All right. What will be your favorite addition to the new school?
Well, I am a musician, so I have to say my personal favorite is going to be the fact that we'll have a new stage, a new auditorium. The acoustics will be really good. The band room will have a much better practice space. The chorus will have a practice space that's not a converted classroom. We'll have a lot of storage area so that the drama program can really grow, and people will have places to store costumes and sets and things like that. So it's not just all kind of, once you make something like that, like we don't have any place to put them. So that all the performing arts spaces are going to be absolutely top-notch, like professional. And so personally, I really like that. But the fact that we'll have really good science labs, that's just really good for helping people get into college and make the choices of like exploring whether or not they want to do careers like that.
Yeah.
So that also, but really I think that our performing arts space has kind of been cobbled together, and it's just going to be like, it's going to be as good as any place.
All right. So with all this new addition, will the athletics field be new as well, like turf,
Yes.
football field, and stuff like that?
Yes, they have to be, because the space that this building's on and where we're going to put the new building, there's not a whole lot of empty space.
Yeah.
So the only way to build a new building is to encroach on the fields we have now.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest inconvenience of building a new school is going to be we're going to have to find places off-site to have practices and games until it's built.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, then when this building comes down, all the fields will get built around the new building.
Oh.
So there'll be a new soccer field and track, and there'll be a new football field. And we only have 4 tennis courts now, but in order to do like proper tournaments, most schools have 5.
Okay.
So we'll have 5 instead of 4.
Good.
So that'll be an improvement. And the football field will be where this building is now. And the overwhelming sentiment is we should get a turf field because you can use it for all of the seasons and the summertime, and not have to resod that trench that gets dug in the middle if you have a grass field. So.
All right. So is the new school going to be bigger than the current one we have, or around the same size?
Well, right now we're looking at a little bit bigger. So we're looking at over 200,000 square feet. And we have 195,000 square feet now, I think.
Okay.
So yes, it will be a little bigger. But the other thing about this building is there are a lot of square feet that don't get used really well. Like, have you ever seen those basement areas where all the records are?
No.
Or, well, there are some like bowels of the earth sections of this building that don't really get used.
All right.
So all of the building will be usable. And we are looking at it being bigger and better classrooms, probably about the same amount, but then the special ed programs will have better and more rooms. So the entire space altogether, and it'll be a much, much, much bigger gym, probably be 15 to 30,000 square feet more than we have now. If we go from 195 to as much as 215 but one of the things we're going to work with the MSBA on is, they don't want to overbuild a school.
Yeah.
So they have guidelines for like how big certain spaces could be. So we have to follow those too. But I think the overall actual space is going to be bigger.
I'm Mateus Moreira. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
This has been SHS This Month. Tune in next time for the next edition. Come on in.